Recording in progress.
Chapter 2: The Hidden Struggles of Male Survivors: Unpacking Trauma, Attachment, and Masculinity. Interpersonal sexual trauma in males is a deeply complex and often misunderstood issue that intersects with societal norms, gender expectations, and the intricacies of the victim-offender relationship. Despite the prevalence of such trauma, many male victims face significant barriers to being believed or are wrongly judged as participants in their own abuse. The issue is further complicated by the fact that, particularly for children, 90% of victims know their offenders well, and often return to them multiple times. The dynamic reveals that the trauma itself is not merely an act of violence, but can also involve a distorted form of connection, where victims may receive something from the experience, such as a sense of belonging or perceived love. That contrasts sharply with the offender's motivation. The public, however, often fails to grasp this complexity, leading to the imposition of harmful gender-specific narrative of abuse. When the offender is female, society may mistakenly view the abuse as a rite of passage or an accomplishment, reinforcing toxic masculinity and downplaying the victim's trauma. Conversely, when the offender is male, society grapples with how to respond appropriately. On one hand, there's a tendency to demonize the offender, which can create conflicting emotions in the victim. The victim may recognize that the offender's actions were wrong, yet simultaneously feel a strong connection and a desire to protect them. This internal conflict is further complicated if the abusive behavior felt pleasurable, leading the child to question themselves and wonder if something is inherently wrong with them. These complex emotions often drive the victim to keep the abuse a secret, believing they are somehow complicit in the situation. Adding to the confusion is the societal narrative that male offenders are often former victims themselves. A child who is aware of this may feel being labeled an offender in the future, and they too have been victimized. When the abuse involves a same-sex offender, it can also lead to confusion about the child's own sexuality, intensifying the urge to keep the abuse hidden. These gender narratives not only reinforce harmful stereotypes, but also contribute to the underreporting of male sexual abuse, leaving many victims without a necessary support and validation. Understanding the prevalence of childhood sexual abuse among males proposes a significant challenge due to the varying data across data sources. Finkelwar updated a study in 2024 highlighted international rates ranging from 0% in some countries to as high as 29% in South Africa, illustrating that the wide variety of reporting prevalences. Despite these differences, Paredes' 2009 meta-analysis offers a more consistent estimate, suggesting that between 6.2 to 10.8% of males globally experience child sexual trauma. Dubé's 2005 study, based on data from the Adverse Child Experience Study, further underscores the gravity of the issues, reporting a male victimization rate of 16%. This statistics reflects the significant yet often hidden impact of sexual trauma on male survivors, highlighted for the need for a deeper understanding of the factors that contribute to the reluctance to report abuse. A critical aspect of this reluctance is the underutilization of mental health services by men, which is exacerbated by societal pressures to conform to traditional masculine norms. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, 1 in 5 adults in the United States experiences a mental illness every year. While this affects both men and women, the prevalence of reporting mental illness is lower in 18.1%, compared to women, 27.2%. However, the statistic masks a significant concern. Men are far less likely to seek mental health treatment, and their issues often go untreated. This underutilization of services leads to severe repercussions, including higher rates of depression, suicide, and substance abuse among men. In 2020, Mental Health America reports that 6 million men in the U.S. are affected by depression annually, and men are 4 times more likely than women to die by suicide, with 79% of the 38,365 suicides in the U.S. being men. These alarming statistics underline the importance of understanding the barriers that prevent men from seeking help. Traditional gender roles, gender norms, which promote self-reliance, emotional stoicism, and strength, play a significant role in these barriers. These cultural pressures can lead male survivors of sexual trauma to avoid forming friendships or seeking treatment out of fear of being perceived as weak. This avoidance is often rooted in the coping mechanism designed to protect themselves from further harm or judgment. Gender theory offers valuable insight in how these societal expectations shape the experience of male survivors. Within the context of sexual trauma, traditional gender norms can be exacerbated. The challenges faced by male survivors, making it difficult for them to seek help or establish meaningful connections. This cultural pressure to conform to masculine ideals not only hinders their ability to heal, but also perpetuates feelings of shame and isolation. Trauma theory further elucidates that psychological and emotional impact on sexual trauma in individuals. For male survivors, the avoidance of intimate and authentic relationships or friendships can be a direct response to their traumatic experience. Sexual trauma often leads to profound feelings of shame, guilt, and distress, which can make it challenging for survivors to establish new connections. The fear of potential re-traumatization or betrayal may drive them to isolate themselves, avoiding the vulnerability that comes with forming close relationships. This isolation, while a protective measure, can also prevent from accessing the support and care they need to heal. The believability of male survivors of trauma narratives present a significant challenge, one that is deeply intertwined with societal views on gender. Many men struggle with credibility of their trauma stories, largely due to ingrained societal norms that cast doubt on their experience. This skepticism is pervasive, extending beyond the general public and into the mental health system itself. Therapists, often influenced by these same societal norms, may unconsciously reinforce these biases, further complicating the path to validation and support for male survivors. This dynamic makes it even more challenging for men to receive and acknowledge the help they desperately need. Attachment theory provides another layer of understanding by examining how early attachment experiences shapes individuals' pattern of relating to others. Male survivors of sexual trauma may experience disruption in their attachment bond, which can significantly impact their willingness to seek treatment. Attachment insecurity, characterized by fear of rejection or abandonment, may lead survivors to avoid therapy or counseling due to concerns about judgment or re-traumatization. The fear of opening up and trusting others, deeply rooted in their attachment experiences, can further hinder their ability to seek their support. One of the primary needs of human being is to feel connected and to belong. For male survivors, the cost of maintaining a connection with an offender often comes at the expense of enduring interpersonal trauma. This painful trade-off underscores the complexity of the shiny object phenomenon, where the perceived benefit of connection to belonging are overshadowed by the profound harm caused by the abuse. To address this, it is essential to create a therapeutic environment that acknowledges and validates the unique experiences of male survivors. The concept of countertransference, first introduced by Sigmund Freud, is particularly relevant in the treatment of male sexual survivors. Countertransference refers to the therapist's emotional reaction to a client's trauma, which can significantly impact the treatment process. Therapists must first be aware of their biases, triggers, and the societal influences that shape their perception. By engaging in ongoing self-reflection, supervision, and education, therapists can ensure their profound reactions do not interfere with providing empathetic, trauma-informed care. This approach is crucial in creating a safe environment, safe therapeutic space where the client's experience and needs remain at the forefront of treatment. In conclusion, understanding the impact of interpersonal sexual trauma on males required an integrated approach that considers gender theory, trauma theory, and attachment theory. Traditional gender norms, trauma responses, and attachment patterns are all interact to shape the experience of the male survivor, influencing their ability to form friendships, seek treatment, and heal. By challenging societal expectations and addressing these unique challenges faced by male survivors, mental health professionals can create supportive environments that promote recovery and well-being. Moreover, by recognizing the potential for countertransference, therapists can provide this in both empathetic and effective, helping male survivors navigate their complex trauma narratives and move towards healing. And in the Beyond the Shiny Object, I explore the micro-level experiences of male survivors, examine the experience of those in relationships with them, all within the broader context of societal norms and relational dynamics. Through this exploration, I've identified 15 key characteristics, which will be explored in Section 2, that are vital for fostering healing relationships with male survivors. These characteristics will be examined in depth throughout the book, offering a framework for understanding and supporting male survivors. By delving into these aspects beyond the shiny object provides insight and guidance into navigating the complexities of healing and connection with male survivors.